Yeah, I think you're able to see my screen. And last week I tried to show you, or show. Last week we discussed about the template requirements and how to start working with a designer. And we went ahead and put up a project or a small job in which we also we also have built a small data flow, a very easy data flow that extracts data from a flat file as a source and staging as our target. So last time we saw this, if you remember. So we make use of the query transformation. So while doing this, if you recollect, the first thing I'll have to do is build a repository. Build instance, it is a logical representation of the database. So you have to have a repository to actually monitor or build a job to move data from one place to other place. So while building a job, the first important thing is configuring your designer and then having your building your data store. So data store is the very important thing which you will have to build before you start working on any job. And after the data store, you'll also have to check if you have the job server. And today in the last part, I will show you whoever had the software, that is fine. Whoever doesn't have the software, I'm going to put on Mega Upload as I told you, and you should be able to download the software and the license key. I will log into your machine and then put in the license key there. Okay, perfect. So today, as I told you, I would be more going with the initial tutorial which is being provided by data services, but the tutorial doesn't cover any of the transformations. It covers only simple query transform and a date generation transform. But then it is very good. It will give you an overall idea about what all we can do with the software. So let me see if I have anyone else joined because I hear a couple of. Yeah, so it is sometimes same with me, guys. So please bear with me. There are some technical difficulties sometimes here and there, and that's the reason it is taking too long for me to render the videos. Even as I told you last week, I don't have the audio on one of the systems. I have the audio in a different system and I have video in a different system. Now I'm trying to merge them to get it into one page. So it is taking really, really longer time for me to do that. So, so I started with the same flow like how we were doing last week. And before we start, even I have to show you most important things. Whatever I will have to do in MySQL, though it installs it as a database which comes it with business objects data services. When you do the default installation, it will ask you, do you want it to also install a, a database instance like MySQL server, or do you want to use your own? So when we say install, it will install and create you one repository, but it will not create the entire database or all the schemas that are required for you to start working. So we will have to create the schemas ourselves. Whether you have Oracle, whether you have MySQL, definitely there doesn't make any difference. But as part of the session, as I promised you, there will be also heterogeneous environment shown to you, Oracle and MySQL in single job, because that is how in a project the ETL tool will be used. But in the tutorial, they don't cover all this. Tutorial, they'll just simply give you very straightforward how to use data services, how to start working on it. But I will try to do beyond that so that it is helpful for you to make use of certain transformations. Okay, so the first thing we did last week is running a job with Flatfile as the source, and Flatfile as a source, and you'll uh, we have loaded it into a target instance called ODS. So other important thing is MySQL will not install you a front end application. I mean an Access application. So we have to install it ourselves, which I installed, and it is also a free software available on internet. So I'm going to use the same to connect and look at my uh, what happened. Where is my? I don't see it. Hold on, guys. It should be somewhere there. It is a MySQL bench, which should be there. Mm, wow, I don't see it. Somehow I lost it. I see only a MySQL installer. Mm, okay, never mind. If I want, I can install it that part only right away. Mm, but last week I was able to log in and I did not do any changes to my system. And so I'm wondering what, where it is gone. Bear with me, guys. I'm checking if I have the MySQL connector so that it is easy for us to connect. You'll have to understand in the database side, though you have Oracle, if you are not very good at using the SQL prompt, you need to have some front end tools like SQL Developer or PL SQL Developer or Toad. Toad is no more a freeware. Once it was a freeware, but now they give you only 15 days free trial, and after that, you'll have to buy the license. Okay, I don't see it somehow, and I don't know the reason why it lost even. It's called MySQL Bench, which I installed on my machine, and I remember. So let me do this quickly. I will not install entire software. Instead, I will just install only the MySQL bench. That is only required for me to log on. So it now will ask me what all I want to install. So I will skip everything, and in 2 minutes we should have that. So in here, this is the MySQL bench which I was talking about, and all I need is the MySQL bench, and connector is already there, so I don't need. So I click that and say install. It will take only 2 minutes because it's a small front end application wherein you can visualize the database. So you all have to install the same thing when you wanted to start working with data services, because you have more flexibility where when you have this MySQL workbench, you can go create your schemas, configure the users, so that you also get used to the database, because that is also very important. Whether you write a query on Oracle or SQL Server or even MySQL, it is everything the same. There can be here and there small syntactical differences, that those are minute, because they all use SQL as the language to connect. So right now it's just logging me in. I wanted to show you what is the default installation that comes up with data services and what shall we do beyond that. Okay, whatever the login earlier I had is not working. Let's see if it works. Yeah. So here I when you do a default installation, you will see only the first one, data services, as your schema, and that will be only the schema that gets installed by default. And the importance why I wanted to show you this is everyone will have a question: what is happening when we create a repository? When we create a repository, what is happening is these are all the tables that are getting created. I will show you right away when I install a repository. These are all the tables, because earlier I kept on telling you the metadata or the data, everything is going to be lying in a database. Nothing will be in data services. To handle the data, it needs some metadata. It needs some tables. So whatever you are doing in your central management console, like creating users or dropping users, running a job, every information will be stored in all these tables. These are exactly the same tables which are getting created when I try to install data services. If you see, this is the list of the tables. If someone asks you about how many tables will get created, which is a very bad question actually, because these keep changing from time to time. So earlier it used to be like 34, 36 tables. Now it has gone up to 100 tables even. So it is not a very important thing how many tables will get created behind. There are few views also, if you see, but there are a few important tables which I will show you at least one table, the metadata table where the job will get recorded. So, did you any one of you guys got a chance to go over the document I have sent couple of days back? Because last week Shauri has asked me, do you have a definition of each object? I tried to put up a document so that you can use it, saying this is my project, this is how I create a flat file, and the naming conventions, everything I think were being provided to you. So, did any one of you got a chance to look at the document I have sent you guys? At the end, I tried to put there about the flat file, because last week we saw the flat file, how to create a delimited flat file and use that as part of the job. That's what I have